This is a small miniature wiggle mattress. The inside components of it. The first thing you're going to notice is, wow, a parachute material. This material is a patented anti-shear technology. You're going to notice that there's multiple layers on this. So on the very top, there's a layer of foam, proprietary foam. On the top of that is a loose sheet of Teflon-coated parachute material. The Teflon, what that does is it allows the patient to actually move, or what we call sometimes wiggle, and that's where the name derives from. So it's a anti-shear, low anti-shear technology that allows the patient to kind of glide across the surface without creating additional pressures, or without the down shearward force when you raise the head of the bed up, which drives the bottom down into the surface. With the anti-shear technology, it allows the patient to simply glide a little bit without applying that heavy downward force pressure. Underneath here, on the foot section, you're going to find a piece of, it's going to be kind of a heel section that we have incorporated into it. So it allows for soft immersion of the heels. Throughout the remainder of the mattress, you're going to find a series of interconnected air bladders. Now, these independent bladders are different than most of what you've ever seen before because they are small in nature. What that does is allows your body to fully contour to the mattress surface, and it actually yields some of the lowest interface pressures you've ever seen on a mattress. Take, for example, I'm 6'3", 240 pounds. Laying on this mattress, I am yielding an average of 9.3 millimeters of mercury. I would challenge you to put that up against any mattress that's in your facility. It's just the design of this is yielding those types of pressures which have been unseen and unheard of before. You'll notice on the side of this, there's two perimeters. One, we want that anti-shear technology to be just in the center. We want our immersion of our body to be in the center of the mattress. We want the support on the sides for egress and ingress. You'll notice that these are they are encapsulated in material. So these are actually air bladders. So if you've got a patient that is prone to falls, we could actually inflate these, which allows deeper immersion into the mattress system, and it helps your patients identify the perimeters of the mattress itself and helps reduce falls. So that's pretty cool technology. You'll notice that everything's incorporated into its own system. This system actually sits on 2 inches of supportive foam and then encapsulated into a 4-way or 7-way stretch material that covers the mattress, which is antimicrobial, as well as, like I said, 7-way stretch. Also with the cover itself, what that 7-way stretch does and how it incorporates with the underlayment of the system. When you raise that head up, usually on a typical mattress system or on a typical bed, number one, it's not ergonomic. We don't raise our bodies like that. When we sit up in a mattress, the whole mattress back comes straight up. Challenge you to do that sitting in a chair. It doesn't work like that. We bend, we flex. But since the system mattress is pushing you upward, it is actually creating that downward shear force, and the patient slide down the bed, right? That shoves them forward. With this system, you don't get shoved forward. You simply glide forward a little bit on the anti-shear material. The cover will stretch at that point in time. So you wonder, how is that good? How is that bad? Number one, it doesn't create the skin tears because you're not creating that heavy shear and friction. But when you lower the bed back down, that stretched cover actually pulls your patient right back into position, alleviating the need for nurses to come in there, grab the patient under the arms, trying to drag them up, which is actually creating heavier friction, potential skin tears, and things like that. Because you're dragging that patient up, it's just not good for their skin integrity. So The other two things you'll see in here, and by the way, the air bladders that are all interconnected in here work off of atmospheric pressure. So as a non-powered system, we alleviate the need for a pump. Pumps create noise, they absorb energy and things like that. There's certain situations where maybe a pump's okay, but the reality of it is if I can get that kind of interface pressure in an atmospheric based, again, keyword, atmospheric pressure. So you can see just in this one air chamber here, see that air in there, it's working in atmospheric pressure because there's foam inside of each air bladder. There's a valve usually located on every air bladder that are interconnected. When the system is in operation, the foam rebounds, pulling air inward through a one-way valve. It locks that air in there, and that's under zero pressure. So foam is rebounding, it is gathering air into the cell, and the one-way valve is there. So when you go to sit on that, it's actually sitting on a pillow of air inside the foam. Should there be a failure, you all know right now, low air losses, things like that. If there's a mechanical failure, the mattress is going down, your patient is laying on 2 inches of foam. They are on the frame pretty much the whole time, which is going to be for continued time frame. If your nurses aren't noticing a mechanical failure, your patients are unable to notify you of that failure and their discomfort, then we are creating heavy pressure injuries at that point in time because they're laying directly onto a metal frame. Should the wiggle system have a malfunction, should there be a puncture in the bladder for any reason whatsoever, your patient is still laying on foam that's located within that cell, plus the initial layer, plus another 2-inch base. So your patient is protected at all times, and you'll still receive a very low interface pressure. So again, there's going to be multiple tubes out here. They're going to gather that air through the atmospheric air because of the one-way valve, the foam rebounding. The two external bladders will have one tube and a hand pump that we can utilize to inflate these bladders should you have a potential fall risk. If one patient goes onto it, they are a fall risk, you inflate the bladders. If that patient discharges, it's simply a one-way valve, or it's simply a compression valve that you can depress, release the air from these bladders, and it'll be right back into the straight non-powered system without inflated perimeters.